Hey, shout outs to all of y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Exactly Amara with your girl, Amara La Negra. And if you didn't know, now you know that this is a production of iHeart. And thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, thank you for supporting me, for showing me love, for always being connected to this amazing podcast. And today, I want to remind you, as usual, to subscribe, rate us, and share this podcast with your friends, families, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, because you know that the show is lit. And I always talk about things that can connect with the people. Some connect more than others, but if you feel that this can relate to somebody that you know, please share it. Don't be stingy with the podcast, and also leave comments. Leave comments on the Instagram page at Exactly Amara, or also on the YouTube channel. You can go to the YouTube channel, and on the search bar, write Exactly Amara or Amara La Negra. And under the video, write your comments. I'm always there para chismosear and read all the comments. So, with that being said, I want to bring in today my guest, my producer, my friend, mi pana, mi amigo, mi compa, you already know, Alex, and I have officially named him. Well, actually, no, I found out that he was already named that before. So, Big Sexy is in the house. Thank you so much for joining. And I also have Arlene that I have named her today, Mrs. Juicy.
I want to get juicy.
Juicy is also here with the T. And today is like Throwback Thursday. We're going to change it up a little bit. And we're going to talk about some throwbacks, right?
Yeah, we're going to, basically, you as an artist, my friend, we want to know, and the people want to know, what influenced you, right? And we're going to calling it Throwback Thursday because we want to know, what did you listen to growing up? What did your mom listen to growing up that influenced you?
Boy, my love, growing up, I remember my mom, I have some good memories of that, but my mom would have a lot of Johnny Ventura, Mili Quesada, Olga Tañón, Fefita. She would have a lot of like Dominican and also Cuban music playing in the house. Especially on Sundays, that was the day that she used to clean the house, baldeaba el piso con agua. And also, she didn't understand the language per se, pero she would love to play in the house también Tina Turner, Whitney Houston, Donna Summers, Gloria Gaynor.
Tina
todo
Turner.
Ese tipo de música. Yes. Mami ponía mucho de ese tipo de música y all those things influenced me, I guess. Honestly, before we had those big ass TVs that you have to like turn the buttons y vaina. And ella le encantaba poner esos programas también, Sábado Gigante y todas esas cosas that you would see those shows and hear the music and a little bit, I picked up a little bit of everything. Some of the English, some of the Spanish, but definitely she always played a lot of like strong women like La Lupe, Lupita D'Alessio, sometimes even Juan Gabriel or stuff like that. Yeah, I listened to everything growing up.
So romanticón stuff?
Yeah, también romanticón, también José José, Luis Miguel en esos tiempos, estaba en su momento. A lot, o sea, imagínate tú, la lista goes on and on of all the amazing, Rocío Dúrcal. Like, my mom was always very well-rounded when it came to music, and she wanted me to hear a little bit of everything, and I'm grateful that she exposed me to so much variations of what Latin music was at the time, because that's how I was able to be like, okay, I want to pick up a little bit of this, a little bit of that, put it together, and this is, who Amara is.
That's amazing. And, coming up in a Puerto Rican household, it was the same way. Teníamos el componente with all the freaking, CD player, tape deck, everything. And my mom would be playing everything, la salsa, merengue, bolero, bachata,
Grupo Nietzsche and
all that stuff, Oro Sólido, everything just, oh my goodness. Now you're thinking about it, I'm like,
don't you miss those days? How things have changed so much. Obviously, we know we got to evolve, we got to go with times, but es tan lindo think of those memories of how we grew up. And then sometimes I look at today's times and it's like, it's not that it's not that nice, but it's definitely not as innocent, as family oriented as it was back then,
I agree. And things have, I just, and sometimes you think you want to keep that same spirit that you had when you were younger. And even now with your kids, you think do I want to go ahead and do the same thing? And you should. I think you should. I think that's a lost art. Is having that family bonding time. Because everyone's on a damn screen now.
Sí, pero la vaina es, I agree with the screen thing. Yeah, we definitely have to change. For those that want to, esto no es para todo el mundo, right? But for those that want to keep la cultura de nuestra gente latina, I think it's important for us to be the ones to take charge and be like, you know what? I'm going to play you some music. This is what I grew up with. I want you to listen to this. I want you to know where you come from, what we heard. Ponerle some of the old school music, I think, is important. We have to create that family-oriented energy. Y también que tú tienes que entender, yes, times have changed. Los muchachos these days know way too much. Back then, we didn't know as much as they know now. And la lyrics has also changed, When were you going to hear back in the days, a song talking about pop that pussy or, drop it like it's hot or like, Mrs. Juicy over here. You weren't going to hear them lyrics.
Speaking of the current music, is there anything you would play to your daughters, any artist that you listen to now, today? Or are you only going to play what your mom played for them?
Adele, y vaina así. Like, there's some nice songs that I feel that my kids can listen to for sure. Pero realistically, if you really sit down and go through the playlist of the modern songs, up on charts right now, it's kind of limited the songs that you can play for them that is, okay for, children, right? Because everything somehow is either subliminal or there's something freaky nasty, in there that's made for adults, which is fine. Because I've heard that too. We can't put the pressure on the artist. They're being an artist. You do what you do. As a parent, you're the one that decides you can hear this or you can't hear that or whatever. Pero la música no es lo mismo que antes. Antes tú ponías la radio and they could hear the whole everything. Ahora you're gonna be changing stations every time a song.
I mean, even in the
so.
in the mid '90s, as a teenager growing up, there was a lot of songs on the radio that were kind of that you saw the trend starting with hip hop and changing, and then hip hop merging with Latin music. A lot of things started changing.
Yeah.
But you're right. I want to know from you now. You told us a little bit about growing up and what your mom played. When did you take it upon yourself to make the switch and start incorporating English-speaking music into your playlist? And what were some of the records that you remember that play out in your head?
Oh my God. I think it was the fact that in my house, and that's how I plan on doing it with my girls as well. En la casa nosotros somos latinos. Aquí se ve novelas. This is what I don't even watch it, but aquí se ve novelas. I want you to, smell the sazón in the house. I want it to be very Latino. This is what we are. This is our culture. This is what we do. And you're going to copy paste and do the same thing with your kids because I don't want you to lose the essence of Nuestra Cultura Latina because you're born in America. That's what we're not going to do, right? But in school, I know that in school they pick up all the English stuff. The accent, the language, the slang, the blah, blah, blah. You pick all those things up. So you can do that. But I remember that being in school, listening to my friends and stuff, I was into like the Spice Girls. Okay, I was Scary Spice, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. En esos tiempos, I felt like I was killing it. Janet Jackson also. There was a lot of artists, like even it's funny because even when you looked at the music videos back then, you thought they were so futuristic and it's like the technology look and this and that. And you thought they were killing it. They kind of were. I remember the freakiest song that I liked back then. Well, there were two. I think it was, but the Milkshake came in earlier, I think. But then, oh my God, what's his name? Cisco?
The Thong Song?
The Thong
my
Song?
God, yeah.
The Thong Song.
I thought I was killing it. Everybody was like, this is so lit. When the Thong Song came out and stuff like that.
when you think about it, right? You start listening to songs that you listened to back then. You listen to it now.
Yeah.
And, for instance, end quote, you have to lick it before you stick it.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a second. I was like rocking out to this in my room and just hanging out.
Yeah.
You're saying like when you discovered the lyrics as a young person?
When you're a kid, you're not there for the lyrics to make sense. You're there to sing along.
You're just there for the vibe.
Yeah, I'm listening I'm jamming out to both bachata, alternate music, Blink 182, hip hop, Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang was
Yeah.
crazy, Wu-Tang
Yeah.
Clan ain't nothing, like all of that stuff. And I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking back then, now I look back at it, I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, if my mom knew English the way we
Yes.
do, she would have whooped
Yeah.
my behind.
I think that's true too. A lot of times, I'm not saying that there was songs that were, a little bit, freaky, harsh or whatever. Pero uno estaba tan joven y tan inocente. You just wanted to sing the song and dance, and you knew that you liked it and it was a vibe. You weren't really paying attention to the depth of the lyrics of the songs. So I guess it's that these days, I think we all know what the lyrics mean. The young ones, even the young ones, they know. They may not know exactly, but they know it's not, you shouldn't be singing it, but you still do. So I get it.
The pressures, when you first started to get into the music industry, what were those pressures like for you initially? Like coming in, I'm sure there was people, you were meeting with people that were saying, you have to sound like so-and-so. I need you to sound like this. What was all that like?
Oh my God. My mom was one of the first ones. She was so annoying. Because my mom was like, since I was very good at doing many things, it's like still now as an adult. I'm an artist, even though that I haven't done music in like 2 years. I think since the pandemic, I put out 1 or 2 songs, but since the pandemic, I really haven't been doing music like that. I got kind of caught up doing reality TV, doing movies, doing other things. I somewhat, maybe I feel I kind of got comfortable in that space, and I haven't been back in the studio. Also because I'm still going through some legal situations with those that have watched Love and Hip Hop Miami. You guys know what I've been going through, but that also también como que me ha quitado la motivación de seguir trabajando en la música, even though that I miss it. But my mom was one of those that it was like, when you're very talented at doing many things, like I could host, I can do radio, I can do this, I can do that, da 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 da. She felt musically like, ella escuchaba una ranchera, I want you to do una ranchera. Ella escuchaba una salsa, I want you to do una salsa. Ella escuchaba un merengue, I want you to sing a merengue. And I'm like, but how am I supposed to find my identity musically, which happens to a lot of artists? You get caught up doing so many different genres that now your audience doesn't even know, like, what you are, who you are, like, what is your target? Because one day you're singing pop, next thing you're singing rock. And then after that, now you just did a hip hop song. And as an artist, you should be able to be creative and try and experiment with all those different sounds. Nothing should stop you, but you still do have to have a lane, a sound. So yes, I did feel the pressure of having to like, or they would do this. Oh my God, you should be the next Celia Cruz. Sing salsa. And it was like, that's cool. That's an honor, most definitely. But just because I'm Black and I have an afro and I'm Latina, it doesn't mean that automatically I should sing salsa because I remind you of Celia Cruz, I'm still from this era, from this generation. And I like to do a lot of fusion. I mix up a lot of sounds. I'll mix up some Afro beat with some Brazilian funk. I'll mix some dembow with some that's what I think that is fun about doing music, being able to create.
Yeah, I like that, and you got to find your own voice. It's always great to pay homage to the past and to who we listen to, but at the same time, you kind of got to like move on with what you're doing, and I think that's what a lot of artists struggle with nowadays. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure back then everyone struggled because somebody wanted to be the next Frank Sinatra, que si esto, si lo otro,
Right.
For you, what do you attribute your success to in music? Like, do you think about it as maybe your mom? Do you give all the props to your mom? Is there a special person, a special mentor that helped you get to the level of success that you've been at?
I know it sounds so corny, but I definitely always have to give credit to my mom. I have to give credit to my mom because my mom has been my number one supporter, my number one cheerleader, my number one, critic, my everything. And I think it's because she sees what I'm capable of more than I can sometimes. And I think that parents have como ese don. It's like a gift. Like once your kid is born, I don't know how they do that, but they can say, no, dad or mom, I can't do it. And you know what they're capable of them doing. even though they don't see it, but you can see past it. Like, I know you can do it. And you also know when your kid don't got it. You also know, like, no, this is not your department. Yeah, I know you like it, but this is not for you. But you also know. So I feel like my mom always was able to see beyond what I could, and she always pushed me. And I'm grateful that she pushed me, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have known what I am actually capable of. And I still don't think that I have forced myself or pushed myself to see my full potential. I kind of sometimes half-ass it a little bit. So I would say that is that. If it wasn't because of her, tal vez me hubiese desviado, like it happens, and I would have been como, un pollo sin cabeza, just like walking around the world trying to figure it out.
A feather in the wind.
I was gonna say, Amara, the music industry is changing so much, and I feel like female artists are really taking the lead. I would say, especially in when it comes to our community. Where do you think that you fall, and how do you see yourself? Like, what kind of music in the future are you hoping to create?
The thing is, I'm a very bubbly, happy, upbeat person. So whatever I do, I want to know that my music brings happiness and it brings joy. I like music that can change your whole vibe. Like, I'm stressed out, let me put this music on, and it's just gonna get my momentum, going. But then I also love songs where, like, I did my song Insecure, which is one of my favorite songs, that I also was able to connect with women, and connect in a more vulnerable aspect, because I'm not always happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? The battery's got to turn off at some point. And I also go through roller coasters of emotions. Like, I really feel right now, if I were to go into a studio, which would be so great, and I would really sit down and do like a whole album of what my life has been like in the past 2 years. And not just 2 years now moving forward, I think I would come up with an amazing album where I am honest about my feelings like I am now. And I know that a lot of people will be able to connect with me. So I love doing happy music, but I think that being able to do music that just connects with the audience, really, it's something that I visualize for the future for me.
That's amazing. That's a really good way of looking at it, because you got to know what you want to do and where do you want to make music for? And you have 2 kids now. Do you feel like perhaps they'll inspire you in such a way where you'll create? I think you have the soul in you and the heart to really put something beautiful together. So do you feel like maybe you'll inspire yourself a little bit more to create something for them? Maybe, to inspire them as well?
I think that I will, but I also think that in my case, I can relate to a certain extent to things that Cardi B has said about her music, that she still does freaky, adult fun music, and she doesn't let her children listen to it. So I wouldn't want to like stop myself from doing what makes me feel good, or what I know that my audience expects of me, because of the now I'm a mother. No, I'm a mother. You listen to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star over there, and I'm over here, you know what I'm saying? Dropping it like it's hot. So, I want to be able to create that balance. I think that creating that balance is important. But I definitely would love to do music and do music videos, que también es importante, that empower them as well, as a strong woman. Like, your mom's a strong woman, she did that. Y algo que no las avergüence, that eventually they're like, oh my God, qué vergüenza. Like, that's my mom over there, puesta en cuatro. Like, no. I get it, but at the same time, guess what? Mama got to pay these bills. So you better, you know what I'm saying? Cover your ass, cover your ears, and let me do what I got to do.
Beyonce did that too. I mean, I feel like she did that too. She's helping women say, listen, I'm a mom, but I also want to be sexy and get it on with my partner. And I want to, so I'm excited about that music, Amara.
She does it very tastefully también. Like, it's sexy, but I don't find it personally like raunchy. I find it like tasteful. I've seen other artists, we're not going to mention any names, that I'm like, dude, you're basically just doing porno right now. Like, that's a lot. You could have still done the same thing and gotten the same reaction without having to like do it like that. Pero to each his own. Everybody expresses their art form in different ways.
When I think about like musical influences, what are your thoughts on people like Mary J. Blige, like the hip hop era? And are you ever gonna dive into that genre?
The thing about it is that, funny enough, even though I'm loving hip hop and all these other things, I grew up in Miami. In Miami, Miami is very hip hop influenced. I must admit, for the African American community, there's a lot of that. Obviously, the original hip hop, like we have some of them on the show. We have Trina, we got Trick Daddy, like we got some of the original essence of hip hop as well. But I did grow up very cha-cha. I did grow up more Latina than anything. So I didn't have that original experience of what hip hop was back then. I heard about it later on in life, pero ese no era mi público. Especially here in Miami, that is also very Latino based. My mom always had me more in Hialeah or whatever where the Latinos were at. So I didn't get to enjoy the real essence of Mary J. Blige and stuff, like when she first came in. I heard it later on in life. Pero I don't know. I don't like to put any limits to myself. Like, I can't say I'm not. I'm very open-minded, because what about si sí? And then se vuelve un palo, un éxito musical. Like, why not? So I think that in life you should experiment and try everything as much as you can. You never know where where your target is.
Yeah, I agree. Are you thinking of perhaps letting your I know you've spoken about, having a casting agent for your daughters already, but what are your thoughts on perhaps letting the girls into the music industry, into the music business? Are you going to shelter them from this lifestyle, this, hustle?
I would love to be that support system for my children, whatever it is they decide that they want to be. And if I see that they're talented, I don't want to be the one to be like, concha, pero la niña canta, la niña es buena. And I'm like, no, you're going to be doctora. No, 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 no. If I see that you're good at something and you have potential, whether I want it for you or not, if it's your blessing, your route, dale, pa'lante, vamos. Now, I'm going to push you to the end of you. You're going to hate me. I'm going to do you like what mommy did to me. But that's the only way for you to get out their best potential. And like I always say, I always think it's important, not just musically. I think it's important to expose them to as many things as possible. If you like music, fine. I'm going to expose you to piano, to violin, to many other things, percussion. Look and see what really, catches your eye. And support them for sure. But I do want to protect them from the animals, okay? The animals, the beasts, the monsters that this entertainment industry has that, will use somebody's ambitions of being successful for their own benefit. And like I said, I've gone through many things in this industry. Like, I've personally gone through a lot of stuff que yo quisiera cuidar a mis niñas, because there's a lot of wolves, pretending to be sheeps out here.
Amara, I want you to elaborate a little bit more about what it was like for your mom when she was first trying to get you into the business. I'm really curious about that.
Well, how about this? I was born in 1990 and I already had my first trophy in 91. So my mom had me like in beauty pageants, baby beauty pageants, like with the big dresses and like las medias con encaje and like the big bowls, like one of those baby dolls. Okay, so that was my mom with me. Then she started me off with doing beauty pageants, one of those psychotic beauty pageant moms. Like, I had a face full of makeup, I had little dance routines and bathing suits and one of those. And she would make me do the same damn routines in the house 1,000 times. She would put all my little teddy bears on the couch and then she would be like, dale, cántale, báilale. ¿Cómo tú le vas a hacer al público? Y me decía, tírale besos, send them kisses, move your hand, da, 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 da. Like, she like lived her frustration as an artist through me. So sometimes I was just tired or I didn't want to do it, or like, Mom, I don't care for this crap right now. And she would really get upset. Like, she would put so much effort and time, and these outfits were very expensive. Like $500-$600 on a little baby outfit, embroidered with stones and all this stuff. And it was a whole sacrifice for her. So that's how she started me. And then once she started seeing that I actually was good at it and I kept winning competitions, and then I went Miss Photogénica, and then this, and and then it became this industry also for moms, like the baby ones. Eso también is moms are very competitive. It's not even about the kids anymore. It's like the moms are fighting with each other. So Long story short, that's how she started me. And my big break was in 1994 in Don Francisco. They did Miss Chiquitica, which was a segment that they had. I actually won. And after I won, Don Francisco was like, ella es muy simpática. We love her personality. We would love to have her officially here in El Clan Infantil, which was a segment that they had with the children's had opinions and things like that. I was there for 6 years every Saturday. Then I became a background dancer for Univision. And then from there, Disney commercials, this, that, a lot of things started to open up in doors. But my mom was really the one who was like, this is what
Thank
you're
you,
gonna
Mom.
do.
Basically, she's the one that even though she
Mom.
pushed you, it got you somewhere. And by the way, guys, if you want to listen to that episode, it is in the archives. So make sure you check that out. Her time with Sábado Gigante and her come up there. It was very interesting because I watched the show growing up, which means I watched you when you were a kid growing up, because I'm not that much older than you. I'm what? You said you were born in 1990. Yeah, so I'm only a couple years older than you, but I do remember watching Don Francisco a lot.
I feel like every Latino, either your mother, your grandmother, or somebody, you saw it at some point because it was such an important part of our culture. Sitting down on Saturdays to watch 4 hours of Don Francisco and El Chacal and all the other things that they had. So yeah,
it was an incredible time to be alive, and it's something that's missed today. I want to close this off with you giving our younger audience, perhaps, or anyone out there, or a mother that might be thinking of putting their kid through, the entertainment business, or they have goals as your mom did for you. What would be some of the encouraging words that you would want to give anyone listening right now?
Yeah, for sure. If you see that your kid is talented, support them. Stop deciding what you want your kids to be and support what God meant for them to be. If you see that they're talented in whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether they're good at math, whether they're good at science, whether what they want to do hair, it doesn't matter. Support them. You never know if they are going to be amazing later on in life at what they do. And if later on they decide to do something else, support them with that too, because they do also have the rights to change their mind. They do also have the rights to explore and experiment with different things. So just be open-minded to that. Also, expose them. I always talk about exposure. I think exposing your kids to different things is very important in order for them to know what they're good at. If you only show them 1, 2, 3 things, that's the only option that they have. But if you show them about, space, and then you show them about the sea, and then you show them about different things, you give them an opportunity for their mind to open up. If you have to sacrifice a little bit, as a parent, I think that you automatically sacrifice. But if you have to sacrifice a little bit of your time, your energy to take them to a class, whether it's football class, dance class, ballet, or whatever it is, do it for your kids. Because como te digo, you never know. And just be supportive. Stop telling your kids what you want them to be. It's not about you. You have your life to decide what you want to be. Stop telling them what they have to be. Support whatever it is that you see that they're gifted at, And obviously guide them, motivate them, be their number one cheerleader, because you'll never forget, even if you think that they're young, they'll never forget that time that you supported them, that you were their cheerleader, that you stood by them, that you didn't let them fall. So just be that support system. And also use social media to also find the best talent agency, to find the best dance school, to find the best whatever coach that you can find. You have the internet. Unlike our parents back in the days, it didn't have too many options, las páginas amarillas and things like that. The yellow pages. But you have options these days. So just support your babies, support your kids. Be the best parent you can be and let them live their lives. Just be there to guide them rather better and protect them. Once again, as usual, Alex, Big Sexy, thank you so much for coming in today. Arlene, Mrs. Juicy, thank you so much for always supporting me on the show. And I always love being able to connect with you guys, especially now that I've given you guys an opportunity to get to know Amara even a little bit more with the Throwback Thursday. And then, like I said before, if there's anything that you want to know, anything that you want to hear, feel free to leave any comments. We're always there to read the comments and hit you guys back up. Thank you once again for joining Exactly Amara today, like you do every Thursday. And remember to follow Exactly Amara on Instagram and on Twitter, and also My Cultura podcast on Instagram, so that you can check out all the other podcasts that My Cultura has. You also can watch us on YouTube. Just go to the search bar and write Exactly Amara to check out the behind the scenes, or Amara la Negra. And remember that this has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcast. Así que mi gente, ya ustedes saben, this is your girl Amara la Negra, and you just heard Exactly Amara.